Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about putting your thinking caps on. Ah, that is a thinker. And that is what I am excited to think about today with Bamzy. We're gonna really pick his mind and really see what this makes him think about. So with that being said, thank you so much, Bamzy, for coming onto my show and sharing your
Yes,
time. I'm
yes,
excited. So
yes.
when you hear those words, putting your thinking cap on, what does that make you think about?
Oh man, think about being conscious and making good choices and good decisions in your life. Because each and every day we all have to make decisions. And the
Mhm.
choice is to make good or bad. And when a thinking cap is it's a reminder of making
Yeah.
good choices.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
because we need to have that reminder sometimes because it's so
absolutely.
easy to make the wrong choice, you know?
Oh, it's so easy.
The peer pressures, the influences, society. Oh, it's so hard sometimes. So, like, what do you recommend for individuals helping to really consider their choices when it comes to them to make that choice?
Um, you got to be true to yourself and true to your belief. Because each and every day God gave us a gift, and the gift
Mhm.
is to choose, right? So we could choose bad or we could choose good. Even though good is in us and bad is in us, we always have to remember to always do good.
Yeah.
And by putting your thinking cap on, it's all about like starting the habit of making good choices. Because
Yeah.
like each and every day we're gonna make decisions all throughout the day. All
Mhm.
throughout the day we have to. So my thing was this whole thinking cap concept is getting everybody so thinking. Just think before you act, you know, and think smart and be smart. Because when you think
Yeah.
smart, you're gonna be smart, and if you be smart, you're gonna think smart. So it's all about thinking smart and being smart.
Yes, I love it. You're in my boat, honey. You are me. We are the same because that's the
Oh,
reason why I started this podcast because we need
yes,
to really think about
yes,
life and think about our
everything,
choices. Yes,
everything,
everything. There's so much to
everything,
think about. You know what I
everything.
mean? The world is amazing.
Oh,
Oh my
see
goodness.
this, here, the
Uh-huh.
thinking cap.
Yes.
It's a constant reminder.
Yes.
When I wear this hat,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm walking around, whatever, and a person gonna read it. Of course, if I'm walking
Yeah.
towards you, you're gonna look at this hat, you're gonna read the hat, thinking cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Subconsciously, you're gonna think, you're gonna start thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we be caught up in our zone. Sometimes we
Mm-hmm.
just caught up. We don't really be thinking at that moment. But
Mm-hmm.
this puts you back in a state of mind of thinking. So this whole thinking cap concept that I'm pushing is a constant reminder to
Yeah.
remind everybody that whatever's important to you, whatever's something
Yeah.
that you need to do,
Yeah.
just put your thinking cap on.
Yeah, exactly. Because once you put that thinking cap on, figuratively or literally, because thankfully you have those hats, but like once you put it on, you really start getting into that zone of genius, that zone
Yes,
of consciousness, making that intuitive decision, going
yes,
into your gut, getting into your spirit, and really thinking consciously, like, is this
yes,
going to serve me? Is it going to serve God? Is it going to
yes.
serve people? Is it gonna help lift somebody up? Is it going to be encouraging? You know what I mean? Because we need to
Oh,
remember that our words bring life. You know what I
yes.
mean? It
It's
brings
so
life to
powerful.
other people, to ourselves. So it's like when we think consciously, we put that thinking cap on, it really makes us like, huh, what words are going to be good for right now? You know what I
Right,
mean? Because it's
right.
like you said earlier, we have bad and we have good, but it's like which one are you going to focus on? You know what
Exactly,
I mean? So it's like how do you focus on the right things versus the wrong things?
exactly. You know, it's so important, man. It's so important right now. It's like it's so imperative that we understand that we have the power.
Yeah.
We have the power to think smart. We have the
Exactly.
power to think good. We have that power, and
Yeah.
we shouldn't always be submissive to the negative, even though negativity is all around us, everywhere.
Mhm.
Even though it's around us, we still have the power to ignore that and do
Mhm.
positive, because it's so important that we understand the power that we
Mhm.
have. And to
Yeah.
me, a lot of people don't understand the power that they have.
No, they
You know,
don't.
they really don't. That they have the power to choose.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
um,
yes.
and
Go ahead.
a lot like words. To me, words are powerful, right? Because some
Yeah.
people like say they can't do this.
Hmm.
Uh, and my thing is, I changed my whole vocabulary. Therefore,
Yeah.
I don't say can't. I don't say certain things like um mourning or anything that's derogatory, anything that's negative to with my belief. I don't say those words. I just change my whole thought process and everything. And I don't know if you knew this, but this whole the thinking cap concept, it came from basically my dad, right? My dad used to
Yes.
always tell me to think,
Mhm.
think, bam, think, right? And but now, of course, when you're young, you really don't think about that like that.
Mm.
You just go with the process. Okay, there, all right, all right. But as I got older and I started realizing, wow, like that, it was embedded in me at a young age. So
Yeah.
when I got older, a lot of my friends, they were making bad decisions,
Mhm.
bad choices in life. You know what I'm saying? They was doing all kind of crazy stuff. I'm like, man, what you thinking about? Like,
Yeah.
you're not even thinking, right? So, so by my dad planting that seed in me at a young age, what I did was I transformed that into my life right now because everything I do, even though I mean I ain't perfect, so of course I made
Yeah.
bad decisions in my choice in my life, but at the same time, I learned from that and I
Yeah.
used that to. So what I did was um I created my own production company, right? Called Bamzy Baby Productions, right?
Mhm.
See, this is the dog Bamzy Baby, right? So he's
Mhm.
like me, he's me that making good choices in life.
Mhm.
And he signified of being like whatever you believe you can achieve it as long as you think smart and be smart, right?
Yes. Yes.
So from this, you know, I created different books. I'm an author, so I write books about making good choices in your life using your thinking cap. So
Yes.
I have the coloring books, I have the phonics activity workbooks, I have the first day of school book, okay, and I also have the injured bird book, right? And it's all geared towards making good choices using your thinking cap because by my dad passed away 2 years ago,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and that's one thing for sure I would never ever forget. That's
Yeah.
one thing I would never ever forget, the words that he the words and the inspiration that he put in me about making good choices and thinking, because he
Yes.
always say he said you can make a decision, the same decision you can make bad, the same time it takes to make a bad decision, you can make a good decision at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So my thing is, I always wanted to be an example of making good choices. Because this is something this something that's not just happened after something happened to me. This something been
Yes.
happening since my whole life, and I've been
Exactly.
living this way my whole entire life. You know?
Yes. Yes, I love your story. I love how your father embedded that in you, those words, because
Yeah.
parents don't realize that what you tell your child at a young age, if it's
Yes.
going to work
Yes.
or not. But when you do the right thing, you say the right thing, and you provide the right insight, that's exactly what your father did to you. He provided
Yes.
you the example, he provided you the encouragement, he provided you the inspiration, he embedded you those words of put thinking, Cap,
Yes.
thinking, just keep
Yes.
thinking.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
something that I do tell my young boys all the time. They're 3 and 2, but I still tell them make smart choices. Think about it. Think. All you have to
Yes.
do is just
Yes.
think.
Mm.
And it resonates because sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
can see my sons just thinking before they're doing something, and then they'll be like, I'll do it anyways. But then it's like we have to remember that's what we do sometimes. We have
Mm-hmm.
to, and that's our power. And that's where we got to remember you still chose that choice. But
Right.
now it's an opportunity to learn. It's not you know what I mean? You can
Yes.
see it on two ends of the spectrum. Like, oh, that can bring you down, and you can now identify yourself by the wrong you did. Or like you said, you learn from it. You see
Mm-hmm.
that as an opportunity to grow from it. And now that has built you up to be someone better and do something better. Because look at you. You have your children books. You're helping children think. This is part of your production. You have, a doll. I mean, goodness, you are doing more than what people can even think about or even try to consider, because this is that you embodied it. You know what I mean? You truly embodied it. You changed the way you thought, you changed the way you lived, you changed the way you move. That's
Mm-hmm.
true embodiment.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
if more people can start thinking more intentionally and start operating in a system where they realize that their choices have power. And that's where our true power is.
Yes,
True
yes.
power is not by controlling something or being or belittling someone. It's about truly choosing our actions wisely, choosing our thoughts wisely, because
Right.
what you think about is so right. Because it's like you said, when you were out in your youth, you were out with your friends, and then you realized they were making bad choices, and you were like, "What are you thinking about?"
Yeah,
And it's like when they are at that moment, it's because they're thinking about the wrong thing.
exactly.
And when you think about the wrong thing, it gets you to bad situations.
Like they
Because
say.
you know what you say? That
Yes.
saying is, if you play bad games, you're gonna get bad prizes.
Hey,
That's exactly where it comes from,
hey,
right?
what you think about, you bring about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
What you think about,
yes.
you bring about. So me, I think about positivity, positive energy, positive vibes,
Yeah,
and that's what I invite in my spirit. That's what I
yeah,
invite in my atmosphere. Positivity, you know. So by me doing that, it's a whole thought process. Like I was dealing with a situation in my life in 2021. I was
mm.
dealing with cancer, right?
Oh wow, I'm
So
sorry.
but God delivered me from that, right?
Yeah,
So
God
but
bless.
throughout the whole process, I kept saying, okay, Bamzy, you have to practice what you preach.
Yeah,
I go all over all around, the United States, and speaking about making good choices and thinking before you act, and positivity, energy, and when you're thinking cap, right? So I
hmm,
was at a point in my life, I have to act, I have to practice, I have to act, not practice, I have to use,
yeah,
I have to I have to actually use what I've been preaching this whole time, because
hmm,
people could preach stuff and say stuff, but when they actually have to live it, it's a whole different story, right?
hmm,
So what I did when I came upon me, I had to exercise what I preach, and
yeah,
that's something I am so grateful and thankful that I had that in my life, because I tell
yeah,
people all the time that this whole Bamsy Baby production and thinking cap concept saved my whole life, saved my
yeah,
whole life, and I dedicate my whole life to do good. I
yeah,
dedicate my whole life to inspire other kids and other people in general to think before you act. Because
yeah,
we can make one bad decision, and that
hmm,
one bad decision could change our whole entire life.
yeah,
And,
it
and guess
can.
what? And everybody could be a witness to it.
Yes.
Everybody could be a witness to that. That one bad decisions could change your whole entire life for the bad or
Hmm,
for the good.
hmm,
You know, so, and life is, like I said, life is the pair. Life is up, down, yes, no. Hey, bad cannot operate without good, and good cannot operate without bad. You know what I'm saying? So it,
hmm,
it goes together. But we have
hmm,
to we have to put the energy on good. You know what I'm saying? We
hmm.
got to suppress that negative energy. Because as we suppress that negative energy and uplift that positive energy, you know, that good gonna come out and show out.
It is. It really
Yes.
does because people
Yes.
don't realize what you said. Like, how are you ever gonna know something good if you never experience something bad?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, how can you say that one cannot is not existent with the other when they really
Have
need
to.
each other? It's like a
Have to.
seesaw. You know what I mean? You get
Yes.
the two extremes, highs and lows, but then sometimes you can find that balance and you can
Yes.
find that peace. And that's
Yes.
when it comes to our choices.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I mean? Because our
Yes.
choices really does make it everything so much more different, because then you realize you go into any and every situation with that knowing that I have a choice to do
Yeah.
good, to produce good, to think good, to act good, everything come out good. Because when it's
Yes.
like your positivity, like you said,
Yes.
you start changing it and start thinking positive, like, oh, things will work out good, I'm going to get green lights, I'm going to have a great day today, no one's going to bother me today. And
Right.
if
Right.
somebody does bother me today, then I will see it as an opportunity to try to still look at the positive. I
Right.
can try to see
Always.
the
Always.
opportunity to see maybe that person is just hurting because they're going through
Yes.
something. And maybe if I just be kind, it'll help them in their day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
taking yourself off of the mirror and start opening it to realize it's not a mirror, it's a window. You
There
know
you
what I
go. There
mean?
you go. Say it
And when
again.
you
Say it
open
again.
the window,
God damn it.
you
Say it
can
again.
see everything, because people get so distracted with their reflection, not realizing it's not a mirror, it's not about you. It's
Right.
not about
Right.
what's going on with
Right.
you. It's about how much you can go out there and
Oh my
spread the
God.
word. You
We
know what
about
I
to
mean?
have church. We about to have church.
Ooh,
God damn it. We about to have.
amen. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And this is meant to be because I'm with you.
Amen.
This is my mission too. I
Yes.
gave this to God. I was like,
Yes.
God, this is
Yes.
if you give
Yes.
me this platform, then give me the
Ooh.
opportunity, give me the guests, give me the
Yes.
topics, and give the listeners the opportunity to learn, to think, to evolve in a manner
Yes.
that at the end of the day gives him glory. You know what I
That's
mean?
it. Give him glory. Yes. And
Exactly.
that's what I did because before I was doing this whole Bamzy Baby thing cap concept, I was working at a pharmaceutical company for 15 years in Atlanta, right?
Okay.
And so I was so searching for my purpose in life because I didn't know what my purpose was. I
Mhm.
mean, I wasn't no person that had obvious talent. As I thought.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't 6'9". I wasn't,
Yeah.
no, I can't play no piano or
Yeah.
it was like, I wasn't like that. You
Yeah.
know, so I had to search for my purpose. And so what I did was I sacrificed. I sacrificed
Yeah.
and I said, God, look, whatever you want me to do, because my job was making decent money, but it wasn't satisfying.
Yeah.
So to me, when you work in your purpose and live through your purpose, your whole life makes sense. And
Yeah.
that would happen to me. My whole life made sense once God gave me my vision and my purpose in life. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I went cold turkey. I gave up everything to find out what was my purpose. And right now, I'm telling everybody that's listening right now, if you want to know your purpose in life, sacrifice. Give up something that you love. I gave up. I'm telling you, I gave up sex. I gave up drinking. I mean, I ain't no, was no drinker like that, but still,
Yeah.
I gave up hanging out in the club, chasing women. You know, I gave up everything I love, everything I love to do. I just gave it up. And you
Hmm.
don't have to give it up forever. But
Yeah.
you give it up just to find out what it is that God wants you to do. And that's
Yeah.
what I did. I gave it up, and guess what? Boom, boom, boom. I got music. I got a whole production company. I got the books. I had the apparels, the thinking cap, the shirts, the Bamzy Baby thinking cap. I have the dolls. I have so many different things to inspire and motivate kids, and not just inspire kids, but remind kids, and not just kids, people in general. And the key thing is to remind them to think smart and be smart.
Hmm.
I mean, you can inspire people, you can motivate people, but you got to remind them.
Yeah.
And with Bam's the Baby production, that's what it does. It reminds people. Whenever you see a Bam's the Baby, anything with Bam's the Baby on it, it's gonna remind you to think smart and be smart.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I love that because people don't realize. And to be honest, I was just talking about that with in just a few episodes with another guest where we talked about fasting for God's purpose. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's exactly what you did. You fasted, you gave something up that you thought
Yes.
you
Yeah.
needed,
Yeah.
that thought that created you, that thought that defined you to be a man. But that drinking, that sex, that chasing of women, that alcohol, the money, all of that meant nothing because in
Nothing.
reality, none of that
Nothing.
means nothing if you don't have God and you're not
Nothing.
in placement where God needs you. So when you give that up and you say, God, here, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you a month, 6 months, a
Yes.
year. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm going to give it to you for a whole year and I'm going to expect you to change my life
Right.
because I'm going to allow you to show me that I don't need that. I need you. And when you do that, oh, Lordy, you don't realize that one, your relationship with God gets
Yes.
stronger. Two,
Yes.
your understanding of God gets stronger.
Yes.
Three, your peace of mind gets so much
Yes.
better. And four, you develop this love for
Yes.
life, for people, for everything in a way that you're just like, oh, I'm so good. I'm so glad. And then
Oh
you
my God.
you go out into the world and you see God in places that you never thought you would see
Yes.
God before. And you
Man, I gotta
see
turn my
God
I gotta turn
working.
my head. I gotta turn my head backwards on this one. I
Because
love
it's
it. I
real.
love it.
It's real. It's a real thing. And it's like
Yes.
when you just give yourself that thing that you don't realize that you need to give up. It could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be
Anything.
money, it could be anything, shopping, anything, anything that you have turned into an idol because
Right.
that's what it is. When you
Right.
turn it into an idol, then it's no longer God. It's that thing. So it's like when you give it to God, it's like it changes everything. And man, Bamsey, it's sad because time is catching up to us, and I feel like I
Yes.
could keep talking to you.
Oh man. Yes.
Oh man, I feel
Yes.
like I keep talking to
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
what can be some lasting words that you can leave us off with so that we can continue on thinking?
Oh man. Hey, one thing for sure that whatever you believe, you can achieve it. You know, as long as you use your thinking cap, whatever you believe, you can achieve it because God gave us the ability. He gave us the power to think smart and be smart. So utilize what God gave you. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing for sure that, and two things for certain, we all got to make decisions. We all have to make decisions. So why not choose good decisions and good choices in life? You know. So, but I want everybody to remember that Bamzy Baby Production, we is a global educational and entertainment company that can combine character building, learning, and entertainment to produce a positive new generation. And using the thinking cap concept, we successfully develop young leaders. We transform thinking and impact lives. So we
Mm.
have all kind of things that to inspire kids. So please visit the website bamzybaby.com, Instagram Bamzy Baby, BAMZY Baby, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all everything's Bamzy Baby, you know. And one thing for sure, a lot of people ask me why I say all the time, you know, when I do my music or when I do a performance, I say all, right? And they're like, you know, what you do all for, right? But they love it.
Yeah.
That means that I could do all things, you
Yeah.
know, I could do all things through Christ who strengthened me because I know I can achieve and do all things as long as I put my thinking cap on and do it, it can happen, you know?
Yeah,
And believe it, it can
exactly.
happen. Yes.
Oh, I believe it. Amen to that. May God get glory for that because
Yes.
it is the truth. And again, I think you hit the right market to hitting our youth and our children because once we get to our children, then it gets
Yes.
to the parents, it gets to the adults that they're surrounded by because people don't realize how much kids influence adult lives. And when
Yes.
we can influence the children lives in such a way that really is impactful, then not only is it impactful, but it
Hmm.
starts making them be more conscientious. And that's what we need.
Yes.
We
Yes.
don't need robotic yes
No.
sirs. We don't
No.
need like, oh, YOLO lifestyles. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? We
Right.
need conscious, well-minded adults because that's what they're going to turn into one day. That's who's going to
Absolutely.
be running the country. That's
Right.
who's going to be determining what's happened to us when we no longer have a say because we
Right.
see it now. And we
Hmm.
need to have this conscientious mindset of consciously thinking and having that power back into ourselves
Right.
because nobody else has that power but us. If you have
Yes.
a mind and you have a heart, then you have the power to make those decisions. And
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to check out Bamzy Baby after hearing this conversation, because how could you not
All.
go check him out? I have the link and access to all of his socials just so that you can continue on thinking because isn't that the point? Yes, it is. So with that being
Yes.
said, bye.